When I started this, I was just a parent that thought I was going to get a fair shake in family court. And my eyes were opened very quickly on that. I jumped through a couple of hoops. I thought, okay, they're going to see this now. The false allegations were done. And here came another false allegation. It was one right after the other. And then opposing counsel didn't want to get into family court. So after the allegation was ruled out, they waited, 2 or 3 months before they would accept a date to get into family court. And so it was just this constant over and over again. It took me 10 years to get to final trial. And because I wanted justice, I went through 43 plus false allegations. It's been about 700,000. Well, I quit keeping track a couple of years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago now. But at that time, I'd spent over $700,000 just being able to be in my children's life. It shouldn't be that hard in Texas or any other state. And I'm not the only parent going through this. When I started putting it out there on social media, I saw that this was an epidemic. This is not just me. I thought I was worst case scenario. And then I started seeing all these other parents thought they were the worst case scenario. And now with social media, I think that's coming out. When I started going through this, I figured out that it was just a game. And if I went through enough hoops, then I would still have my kids. They wanted me supervised. I was like, fine. I get them every first, third, and fifth weekend. I'll take them Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They wanted me supervised. I paid $125 an hour. I was spending thousands of dollars just being able to see my children, and I didn't do anything. It was just a false allegation. And every time that we went into court to get my children back, they gave them back, but they never gave me the time back, even though I asked for it. That's where the time taken, time back was born. The judge said, well, let's just table it for final trial. But because of all the games, it took me 10 years to get to final trial, but I wanted that time back with my children. And when we got to final trial, she waited so long to rule on the case that she ruled on things that neither of us even pleaded for. Didn't even rule on the time back. At that point, I just took my children out of court because they've never known a life outside of family court. They've been in family court since they were 1 and 3. We exited when they were 13 and 15 is when the final trial was. At that point, I just wanted whatever time and let's just move forward. But I thought about this, and that's why the time taken, time back bill was, because I found out that you can change legislation through the legislators that the judicial branch has to go by. So literally you can rewrite the rules that they go by. So because the judge had the chance to do the right thing every time, 43 times, they could have gave me my time back. And it just wasn't me. It was everyone. Because they had a chance to do the right thing and they didn't, I went to our legislatures, told them what the problem was, and solved the issue. And now no judge in Texas has that discretion anymore. Now they shall give that time back when they return the child. And in doing so, hopefully it will curve more people that come behind me to not do that. When we did the time taken, time back, I could have retroactivated the law. That means I would have got 2 to 3 years back with my children. I didn't do that because it would have stopped up the family court system and everybody would have went back to family court to get their own time back. I gave up that. That way it would clean up the court systems